Hello, hello, and welcome into the weekly mixing stream. Today we are mixing a cover of Nowhere Man by the Beatles. So it's going to be pretty straightforward early Beatles here. We got drums, bass, a pair of electrics, so it's a doubled lead electric guitar, acoustic guitar, and then a lead and backing vocals. They kind of all work in three-part harmony. There's just the chorus sections of the song where the John vocal takes lead, and the other two become more standard, like ooh ah background vocals there. Other than that, it's going to be super, super straightforward, I think. We'll have to contend with trying to get this acoustic guitar to sound big enough to carry most of the song. But other than that, we shouldn't have too much to fight with. But as always, there's a link in the description of the video. If you want to download the multi-tracks for the song, you can download the multi-tracks completely for free using that link, so you can pull them into your DAW. You can mix along with the stream here. You can mix along with the replay as well. The replay for the stream will stay up. Those are completely free to download. There's also tons and tons of other multi-tracks on that page as well, like almost like 2 years worth of these. Hello B Schlegs 99. There's like 2 years worth of other multi-tracks on that page. So any of them that you want to grab, go ahead and grab them. They're completely free. And there's links back to all of the corresponding streams as well. So if any of the covers, originals, anything interests you, go ahead and grab those. But let's kind of dive into the session here. I've got everything pulled down. There's no plugins or anything going except for reverbs and effects returns and stuff like that. I do have my mix bus processing in place here though. I've got the drive all the way down at 0, but it's the only thing turned on here. No noise going on, no crosstalk. Some noise and crosstalk might be fun to play with on this song. Since it's like an early Beatles song, it would have been like on 4 tracks, so it would be cool to kind of maybe add some crosstalk or noise or something. So maybe we'll mess with that later down the line. Next thing in my mix A chain, which is where I'm doing the bulk of my mix bus processing, is this Brit comp from PreSonus. It's their SSL-style bus compressor, 2-to-1 ratio, 30 millisecond attack, 100 millisecond release, thresholds at negative 1.6, and I've got a dB of makeup gain. We're only going to be doing about 2, maybe 3 dB of reduction here with this. Nothing too crazy. End of my mix A chain is the Softube Tape Machine. I run this pretty close to default settings, 5.1 on the color on the actual color amount. So it's just a click up from default. For the color type, I like the B type. It gives me the most warmth in the low end for the kick drum and the bass guitar. I think A is a little bit more high end clarity, and then C is kind of a balance of both, if I remember correctly. 30 IPS for the tape speed. This is paralleling into mix B here. We're going to do some parallel compression, parallel EQ later down the line towards the end of the mix. So we'll blend that in. I'll show you what's going on there. But both mix A and mix B are running into my actual mix bus, which is just sporting the stock limiter here from Studio One or Fender Studio Pro. 6 dB a gain into a negative 1 dB ceiling. This isn't something I'm printing. I'm not actually printing my mix through this. It's just on for me to monitor through as I'm mixing the track here. It just gives me that mastering style volume and that little bit of limiting while I'm mixing. So when I do export this into my mastering session, I actually bump up the volume for the master. There's no surprise balance changes or surprise frequency changes that I wasn't hearing as I was mixing. But you can see I pulled down my main output by about 6 dB to match this limiter. That way I'm not listening really, really loud as I'm working through the track here. So let's scroll over and we'll get to work making our way through this kind of Rubber Soul Beatles cover here. It would have been cool if the Rubber Soul remixes were out. We could have compared to it, but I have the original one to compare to down here as we work our way through. Let's start with the kick drum here. Here's our kick in. And here's our kick out. More of our bottom end, that kind of low air off the front of the kick drum. Oh, you know what? Every time I refresh anything, it like redoes all of the mix change, which is so disappointing. So I'm gonna have to go through and redo those. But drums, Here's our kick level. Let's kind of see, we'll pin this where our bigger peaks are on the kick drum. So what if we start at -9 or so? I think I can dig that. I don't want to go too heavy with any one limiter. So we'll do 2 with that, and we'll just double it up and pull it down. That seems to lock our kick drum in place a little bit better. Braxall, welcome in. Hello, and Volkerschmal, welcome in as well. Poppy Himbo, you said okay already. That's feeling pretty good there. Let's get our high pass in place, and then there's some ringing going on that I want to get rid of. If you hear when the snare hits, there's a little bit of ring that comes through. Let's find that and get rid of that. Right there. I'm just going to notch that all the way down. This 600-700 area, 800 area isn't super important on the kick drum, so I don't feel too bad just pulling that all the way out. Rest of the kick drum feels pretty good. I'm going to speed up the release a little bit on the compressor here. I feel like I hear another ringing frequency. Yep, let's get rid of that too. Cool, release is around 48 or 50 here, but it feels like it's moving in time with the kick drum now. Doing about 8.5 dB of reduction there, nothing too crazy at the moment. Oxmo, you said Nowhere Man is one of your favorites. This is one of my favorites too. I like any of the, I guess it's kind of more of the Rubber Soul era with like the 3-part harmonies like this, or If I Needed Someone. Those are kind of my favorites from the Beatles, especially early Beatles. Ronning Burr, you said, believe it or not, the first Beatles song not to deal with romance in any way. It is, yes, it's one of John's iconic introspective songs. That's feeling pretty good. Let's get some bottom on the kick drum here. I'm going to go right under the fundamental. Right about there is feeling good. It adds quite a bit of volume, so we can pull that back. I feel like I still hear some snaring. There's probably something nasty right in here. Much better. Wow. That actually made a huge difference. Cool. Bottom's feeling pretty good here. Let's grab some top end. You can see that it's rolling off at like 5K. We're missing a lot of top end on the kick drum. We're all the way up, but that feels pretty good, I think. little extra, like another 2 dB or so up at 8K. Got a limiter here on the actual drum bus, but I kind of want to use it just to see where our overall kick level's sitting. That feels pretty good. It's sitting around -11, -10. That seems like a good spot for me. Let's bring in the snare. Man, some of these extra effects chains are just going to bother me. So I'm going to go through real quick here, and we're just going to nuke all of these extra ones. And the presets, same thing with... so the presets are just dropping down here. I don't like that every time you refresh the Finder window, anything you deleted just reloads. Always causes me a little bit of a headache. Okay, so if I just delete the presets, it looks like it takes the folder with it. Cool. Just cleaning up my Finder window real quick here. Okay. Oh man, look at all this stuff it threw in my drum folder. Boo. Boo. We don't need that. We don't need that. Any of this stuff. Bass drum, area overrides, all of that can go. Okay, any of my other folders it ruined right here. Guitars is okay. Keys is okay. I know it probably messed up my mastering and mixing folder. We'll leave those alone for the moment. I just need my drum folder cleared so I can grab my presets. We'll do our DBX compressor here on the snare. Same way we started on the kick, we're going to do a touch of limiting here on some of these bigger peaks. It looks like we've got one just after the rolls. So if we start at 6, where does that get us? That's feeling pretty good. We might actually, let's bring that down to 7. And then same thing, I'm going to double this up because the rest of the snare drum, besides the peaks at the end of these rolls, is pretty consistent. So if we can just tap the rest of the snare drum, but then hold those bigger peaks in place, that'll work perfect. Roll off some of the kick bleed. There's some ring going on here as well. There's a low one. Seems to be right there. And then there's one more right here. Snare feels much cleaner. We're going to hit it with this DBX compressor. It's kind of quiet. So let's crank this up a little bit. That's better. We're kind of tickling that -6 mark there. Anything between -5 and -6 is kind of where I want this snare drum hitting. You said, Volkschmoll, you have a lot of patience. I'm assuming you're talking about trying to hunt for those ringing frequencies. Cool, that feels better. Let's brighten it up a little bit. It's missing some high mid and it's missing some sizzle. You can hear it's also bringing up quite a bit of hi-hat. That's just one of the reasons I don't mic the hi-hat. That's feeling pretty good. If you're going in and you're sample replacing the snare drum, you definitely want a hi-hat mic. You want to be able to pull up the hi-hat and control the hi-hat if it's not going to be in your snare drum. If your hi-hat's bleeding like crazy through your snare drum, after you boost especially, I don't feel the need for the hi-hat mic. There's the mid-range snap we were missing. I like that. It feels a little bit exaggerated maybe, but I'm digging it. But those are huge boosts, so I'm going to bring another limiter down here. Try and control some of the overall volume. Cool, I like that. It's just grabbing some of those bigger peaks by about 2 dB there. Let's give it some weight at the end of the chain here. See, I like it right here. This is way too much though, probably. We're going to leave it. I'm probably going to come back and lower that. I feel like that's what I overdo a lot these days now, but let's see where our snare drum's sitting volume-wise. That's feeling pretty good. I'm happy with the snare drum sound. It's definitely a little beefy, but I like a beefy snare drum. Let's get our overheads in. Those cymbals are for sure going to need some control. Yeah, there's like double folders. All right, hold on. Let me get rid of this extra stuff here. That, all this easy does it stuff here that I just never ever used. That should be everything there. So let's, cool, that clears that out. And then this stuff, I don't use any of this. I think that mono to stereo thing is mine, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll leave that. The rest of that can get out of here. Okay. All right. Are we good now? There's still a random mixing folder. Ah, it's not mine. Ha. Away with you. Okay. Are we good? Hey, back to my normal stuff. All right. Overheads. I like to roll out a lot of the kick drum from the overheads. Bottom end to me is the thing I want coming from one source. So I don't want it coming through the overheads and all of the room mics and the snare drum. I want the kick drum coming from the kick drum mainly. Sometimes I'll let some come through the room mics. Braxall, you said you know what sounds good? Onion rings. Onion rings do sound good. That's actually a really good point. That's a huge cut there in the low mids for the overheads, but I feel like it gives us a lot of clarity in this kind of 200, 150 area. But let's control that. That cymbal hit is kind of harsh. Right there, so let's pull that out. And I feel like there's kind of another one there. We'll get rid of that as well. Now you could use Soothe for this, but for cymbals, for some reason, I've never gotten over the way it sounds on cymbals. It sounds, I don't know, mechanical. It gives me that kind of like AI sort of sound, like the way Suno currently sounds, where there's just something, I don't know, kind of too crispy about it. That's feeling pretty good. Let's look at our toms here. Cool, I'm gonna pull in my starter EQ preset for toms. All these presets I'm going to grab do give me starting points. So the high pass I can just click on, and I should just be able to just pull down this middle band. That feels pretty good. It needs a little bit of brightness. Maybe some weight. I kind of dig that. Let's see how it feels with the snare drum. That sounds good, actually, like right at 0. Yeah, I dig that. Here's our mono room. What I usually like to do with this to start is wipe off the top end. Because it's just the vocal mic, excuse me, that's left up in the booth, and I just crush it, so it's very aggressive. So I don't want any of those super harsh cymbal sounds, and then we'll pull out some of the low mids. You can see this, sometimes I like to at least leave the fundamental in on the kick drum because it's kind of beefy sounding. So just listen to the kick drum. Listen to what the mono room adds to the kick drum without it, and then I'll click it back in. Here's the stereo rooms. And then on the entire drum bus, the entire drum group, we'll do a touch of clipping. I kind of like to just float it above where the drums are sitting, so if anything does get too crazy, it'll get caught by this. Like that, when the energy kind of lifts on a fill like that, where he's hitting multiple drums at the same time, the clipper will just kind of, all right, nothing passed here. Braxall, you're saying why not use something like Fab Filter, the Pro Q4, the dynamics? I could do that here on the PreSonus one as well. They have the dynamic bands. I'm pretty sure you're talking about like hunting for cymbal frequencies like this. I'd rather just pull them out all the way. That way, it's not like after he hits the cymbal, it spikes and then lets go. That ring from the cymbal, I'd rather it be taken out completely. So that way, after he hits the cymbal, that this cut is going to stay in. This notch is going to stay there all the way through. So any kind of ring that echoes through the room, that comes through from anything else on the kit, it's going to be gone. It's not just going to grab it when it gets too loud. It's going to be gone entirely. To me, it makes the decay of the cymbal feel more natural. I think that's one of the things that bothers me about something like Soothe, or trying to notch ringing frequencies out dynamically from something like a cymbal. A cymbal has a very specific decay, and each cymbal has a different decay. So to have the EQ like automatically notch it and then let go, it ruins the natural decay of the cymbal for me. I know that sounds very, I don't know if nerdy is the right word, or obsessive over the sound of the cymbals, but it gives me this kind of weird hollowness when it's like automatically going for these frequencies. And this way I can just, they're gone and they're done. That's kind of my reasoning behind not doing it dynamically. So I hope that makes sense, and it's also kind of just a little bit of my hatred for Soothe on cymbals, but I do love Soothe on things like vocals. Drums are feeling good there. So you can see my starter chain for bass just kind of comes loaded in with the high pass filter. Braxall, you said, okay, cool. I'm glad that kind of makes sense, but that's just my opinions. If you like the sound of dynamic processing on something like cymbals, go for it. The rule of thumb is kind of always, if it sounds good, it is good, right? Now, I don't know if I want to pull down some of this kind of high mid area, or this low mid area. No, I'm going to leave it in. It's part of the bass sound. It bothers me sometimes, but it's just the nature of like the violin style bass. See, I'm hitting the bass guitar pretty hard with the compressor here. I just kind of want to hold it in one spot, at least volume-wise, to start. That's feeling pretty good to me. I've also said sometimes I like to split it in two ways and mix it together there. I'm not sure if you're talking about bass or if you're referring to the cymbal conversation we were just having. And Braxall, you said, yeah, mixing is subjective. If it sounds good, it is good. Yes, yeah, it's kind of the old, I mean, I always heard Dave Pensado say that. If it sounds good, it is good. Yeah, that's kind of thing. You said you like to hear everyone's ideas. I do as well. Cool. after the normal style compression, I want to do a little bit of compression on the bottom end with the multiband here. A little bit of breakup, but it feels okay to me. I am going to pull down some of that low mid area here, but I'm going to do it at the end of the chain. So a move like this, pulling out the low mid on the bass, can be tricky, especially with a song like this. There's only going to be an acoustic guitar, so that frequency I might end up adding back in later. Sometimes I'm thinking in terms of the mix being denser. We'll see if we end up needing this 200 area back in on the bass to fill the track out, but it's feeling okay at the moment in isolation. Cool, that's feeling good. Actually, you said you got the new 30th anniversary Distressor. Ooh. Man, is it good? That's awesome. Cool. Are there any like specific features for that unit, for that edition? Actually, kind of digging the level on the bass here as well. I'm gonna add some mid-range, that kind of nosy frequency, and then I'm gonna add some top end. It's a little... I'm going to pull the top end of the multiband down so it controls the kind of fretty sound. I want to hear just the bottom here. That's feeling okay. Here's our acoustic. There's some wild ringing right off the bat. And then right there, let's get that. little bit of compression here on the guitar. There's one more ringing frequency I keep hearing. Is, ooh. A little bit of top here. Kind of digging this 2.5 area. And then I'm going to hit it with this multi-band. I'm going to keep these bands linked. Well, you like the snare? Cool. And then, actually, you said it has input transformer and other circuits, more headroom, more open, more color saturation. Thinking of getting a second one. It's a limited edition with a red face. That's pretty cool. Extra color saturation and with more headroom is really cool too. I mean, it lets you push it harder and get more of the natural color from it, I guess, without it distorting as fast. That's really, really cool. Very nice. Good grab. Kind of feels like I went too far with the top end boost, but let's see here. Let's see if we can pull this back and control it a little bit more. I'm okay with getting a little bit of kind of breakup on the acoustic here, just in this instance. It's an early Beatles song. I don't need the acoustic to be super pristine. That's feeling good. Eddie, 77, you said awesome. Welcome in. I'm digging the acoustic guitar. It sounds good. I don't want to go overboard trying to chase some of those ringing frequencies. For anybody that's just joining in or jumping in, make sure you grab the Multitracks. There's a link in the description. You can download the Multitracks for the song completely for free, so you can pull them into your DAW. You can mix along with the stream if you're interested in doing that. There's a lot of compression going on the acoustic, but I think I like it. I think it sounds okay. Here's our pair of electrics. I think what I'm going to do is maybe just hit this with the multiband. A little bit of normal compression, but I'm going to hit it probably pretty hard with this. Now there's some ringing. Let's find that. I might switch to the mains here in the room for just a second to try and find the harshness here on the pair of electrics. It's a little wonky, so I'm going to switch over to my mains here for just a second. So I'll mute my mic, try and find this harshness. Cool, that's all I was looking for there. It was those two frequencies. They were like right next to each other. So it's kind of hard to grab them there at first. I think that feels good though. I think what I want to do is set these to level with the acoustic and the verse, and then we'll just boost them for the solo.
Take your time, don't hurry, leave it and don't worry. Take your time, don't hurry, leave it all till somebody else lends you a hand. Doesn't have a plan.
Cool, let's start getting the vocals in here.
And don't worry, Take your time, don't hurry.
Little high pass.
Leave it all till somebody else lends. Leave it all till somebody. Leave it all till somebody else lends you a hand. Leave it all
One click up.
till. Leave it all till somebody else. Leave it all. Nowhere, man, don't worry. Take your time, don't hurry. Leave it all till somebody else lends you a.
And then it does need some brightness on it.
And don't worry. Nowhere, man, don't worry.
This giant EQ is still killing me. Oh.
And don't worry. Take your time, don't hurry. Leave and don't worry. Take your time, don't hurry. Leave it all till somebody else.
Little bit more on the de-essing.
Nowhere, man, don't worry. Take your time, don't hurry. Leave it all till somebody else lends you a.
It's going to be a stack of 3 vocals, so I feel like I can push the de-esser just a touch harder.
Nowhere, man, don't worry. Take your time, don't hurry. Leave it all. Nowhere, man, don't worry. Take your time, don't hurry. Leave. Nowhere, man, don't worry. Take your time, don't hurry. Nowhere, man, don't worry. Take your time, don't hurry. Leave it all till somebody else lends you a. Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Isn't he a bit like you and me? Nowhere, man, don't worry. Take your time, don't hurry. Leave it all till somebody else lends you a hand. Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Isn't he a bit like you and me?
That's feeling pretty good. I'm going to put one more limiter on the bus here, just to kind of get the lead vocal as controlled as possible. With 3-part harmony like this, I kind of want each vocal to be as controlled as possible without removing the dynamics entirely. That way I can kind of park them where I want them, and the balance of the harmonies isn't going to change throughout the song.
Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Isn't he a bit like you and me? Nowhere, man, don't worry. Take your time, don't hurry. Leave it all till somebody else lends you a hand.
I like that. Let's make sure those guitar fills feel okay now.
Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Isn't he a bit like you and me? No, he a bit like you and me. Nowhere, man, please. Isn't he a bit like you and me? Nowhere, isn't he a bit like you and me?
I like it up a little bit, but what we're missing is some of the reverse verb here. So I've got the guitars as well as this acoustic. So the electrics and the acoustic guitars are going into this reverb here. I'm using the splitter tool in Studio One here. It's on channel split. I've got a room reverb on the left, got the same room reverb on the right, and then an EQ afterwards rolling off everything below 300. So it's essentially a multi-mono reverb. And then I'm reversing the panning on it. So anything coming in the left side is going to come out the right side of the reverb. It's just reversing the panning. So we're going to hear our acoustic coming out the right side of the reverb, whereas our dry acoustic is coming out the left side, and then opposite for the electrics. So it'll give us the illusion of a little bit more Christine, I'm not sure what you mean by that. And then Samuel, you said the tuning in the vocals is too aggressive. There's actually not a lot of tuning on the vocals at all. There's just a little bit of melodyne pitch correction on the vocals is all. Nothing super crazy there. What you might be hearing that is giving you that kind of feeling of the auto-tune is probably Soothe. Soothe can feel like that sometimes. So can the limiter. So we're doing not 60 dB limiting, like a dB and a half of limiting.
Doesn't have a point.
2.5 dB of limiting there. Sometimes that little bit of edge from the limiter can feel like that kind of mechanical sound of the auto-tune as well.
Of you knows not where he's going.
But Soothe can feel like that too. I was talking about it earlier with cymbals. Using Soothe sometimes gives you that kind of, it's like a crispiness that feels kind of artificial. It's why I don't like to push Soothe too hard on vocals. And I might back it off and do some manual stuff too, especially if you're saying the vocal sounds aggressively tuned. That's probably some artifact.
Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Isn't he a bit like you and me? And don't worry, take your time, don't hurry, leave it all till somebody else lends you a hand.
I like the level of the vocal. We're going to blend in that reverse reverb, I think, and we'll see if we have to change the level of the vocal overall, but I like where it's sitting at the moment. Samuel, you said it sounds too much in key for you, like it's too perfect. You know what that is? That's because the original's not. The original's like slightly out. It's one of those old Beatles things. That's probably what's bothering you there.
And don't worry, take your time, don't hurry, leave it all till somebody else.
Let's do this in the verse, I think, maybe without the vocal. See, now I feel okay pulling that guitar back a little bit. You can hear the little bit of balance it adds to our acoustic. Then we'll have to pull up the solo there, but... Let's see how that sits with the
He
vocal.
wants to see, nowhere man can you see me at all. Nowhere man, don't worry, take your time, don't hurry, leave it all till somebody else lends. Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to.
That feels like a good balance between that kind of reverse verb on the guitars and the level of the lead vocal. It feels like it gives me enough balance in the opposite speaker that I'm not like leaning off to that one acoustic there. Okay, I think we can start maybe blending in the backgrounds, or maybe we'll reference first here. We'll look at this middle section. We'll do that first. We'll make sure our lead vocal, our drums, and our instruments are in a good spot, and then we can kind of tackle blending in the lower harmony and the higher harmony against the lead vocal. That should get us in a better place. I probably don't want to go in and do those harmonies and then have to come back and change everything. So let's make sure that lead vocal's in a good spot here, and we'll reference. I've got my 2 normal reference tracks I use. There are a couple tracks from Joe Gilder. If you know who Joe Gilder is, there are a couple of his songs from a couple albums back, maybe from him, or a couple EPs back. Really cool songs. I just know what they sound like really, really well. And then I do have the original track here as well. If you're listening on subs or on bigger speakers, this is getting turned up quite a bit for me to focus on the sub area, so you might want to turn your volume down a little bit. Just be weary, it's going to get quite a bit louder here. We're going to look at 50 to 100 hertz here, and we'll compare against the reference tracks and the original as well, in mono as well. Why does the bass actually sound really great? Wow. The bass sounds actually really awesome. I was worried about where the bass was going to be sitting. You're asking, someone's asking Pro Tools or Studio One. I'm using Studio One here, technically Fender Studio Pro now, but yes. Did the reference track also used a reference track? I'm not sure what you're asking there. Are you asking if the reference track, when it was mixed, if they used a reference track? If that's your question, no. I do not believe Joe uses reference tracks. Joe over at Home Studio Corner is the guy who did the 2 reference tracks I use all the time. I just love his mixes. He's one of the guys I learned from coming up. So if make sure you check out Home Studio Corner, Joe Gilder at Home Studio Corner. And then in terms of Nowhere Man, there's no way they used a reference track for that. That's the early Beatles. They were not listening to someone else's mixes. No way. Perfect. When tuning vocals with live instruments gets tricky, the minimum is the best, and as best as possible as instruments aren't in perfect pitch. That's true. Especially with things like this, where you're getting that kind of really chimey, the lead guitar sound on this song. It's not going to be perfect, and a violin bass as well. The tuning on those can be really, really wonky and hard to keep straight. So you don't always want to go super, super perfect. That's why I stay away from things like auto tune. There's the new vocal tune plugin here inside of Studio One or Fender Studio Pro. I'd rather just go in and do it manually and kind of grab, if there's a note you missed, pull it in. For me, it's the same thing as punching in a guitar part. If you missed a piece in the guitar, you go in, you punch it in. If you miss a part on the drums, you go in, you punch it in. For me, it's like a punch in. If there's something wonky that sticks out, go in and grab it. But there's no need to just like ruthlessly put your vocal to the grid. You said most of the OG mixers don't use reference tracks. That's true. Most of the guys back in the day weren't using reference tracks. And if they were, it's not as intense as I'm doing it here. It's more of a way to, what am I trying to say? Get your ears set. So if you go into there's a video of Dave Pensato talking about reference tracks where you would come into the studio and it was like your warm up. You would listen through stuff just to get your ears in check, or if you were mixing on a new set of monitors, you would listen to some songs that you knew really well and kind of, okay, this is what things sound like in this room on this pair of monitors. For me, that's why I like these two tracks, Live Forever and Whitewash. I know what they sound like. I've heard them in like a whole bunch of variety of different settings, in bars, in clubs, like testing speakers with them. Just some of my favorite songs. So I know what they sound like really well. And they give me a reference point of, okay, I've been mixing for an hour here. Am I putting too much top end in? Am I missing some bottom end? That kind of thing. It's not about always copying the sound of the reference track, because genres are going to be different too, but it's more about making sure your ears aren't lying to you, especially after mixing for like an hour. Someone's asking, most underrated plugin in your opinion? Stock plugins, probably. Just in general, stock plugins are always a stock EQ and a stock compressor. Super, super underrated there. And then he said, not judging your work. I was just stating that your mixes always sound great. Oh, yeah, no. I get you. Yeah, I get what you're saying. No worries. You said Pensato is awesome, by the way. Love his guitar EQing. Yeah, I miss Pensato. I used to watch Pensato's place all the time. Anywho. I love the bass. The bass sounds great. I think I like where the kick drum sits. It's a little bit pointier on some of the references. And then obviously it's quieter here on the original, but ours is a little bit beefier. I kind of like it. Let's check the super, super bottom end here. 50 hertz and below. It's kind of rumbly down here. Let's try maybe just sneaking the high pass in a little bit. That's perfect. It tightened up the bottom end just enough for me that it's not kind of rumbly or anything there. So that's feeling pretty good. How's the bass sound? I like where the bass sits too. Bass sounds great. Cool. Very, very happy with how the bottom end is sounding. Awesome. We're coming back down to 0 here on the main. We're going to look at the top end now. I like to go from looking at the super, super lows to the super, super highs. Just another way to kind of keep my ears fresh here. I don't know if I want to push more top end on the vocal. No, it feels okay. We might be able to add some extra snap to the snare drum though. So let's try that. Let's try a click up on maybe the top end of the snare drum here and see if we get... Ooh! That's perfect. That's exactly what we were missing there. Just a little pop at the top of the snare drum. Perfect. I'm not sure how to say your name. Perfect. Kimika. You said your take on reference tracks is great. You downgraded to using a theater sound setup and have to use references, but still struggle, heavily rely on levels and reference tracks. Interesting. Mixing in a theater sound setup. That definitely sounds like a like an interesting challenge. Yeah, reference tracks are probably like super essential to trying to get things right mixing in a theater setup like that. That's pretty wild. Good luck to you there. You said you use references and rely heavily on levels and reference tracks. See, that's another thing to me, relying on levels. Like you hear a lot of people saying like don't mix with your eyes, mix with your ears, don't mix with your eyes. Sometimes like there's things that you just know they're supposed to look like, right? Like I know where like the level of the kick drum's supposed to sit visually. Like a level thing can be visual to me. So you said sounds great on your sub. I'm glad the sub sounds great. Awesome. Cool. I want to listen to the top end click on the kick drum here now. Maybe a little bit more on the kick drum as well. I like where the snare drum sits now, so let's lift the kick drum a little. Yeah, that feels better. Okay, let's check wide now and see if I ruined our acoustic guitar. I kind of don't mind it. We might be able to tame the super highs a little bit. So let's just turn on this low pass and see if we're okay. Curious about maybe brightening up the lead vocal as well, but we'll get some more clarity here. 5K to 10K now. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to brighten up the lead vocal just a click and see what it sounds like. Ooh. That feels better. I'm tempted to push it more. You said it's a challenge indeed. I have center, left, and right, and subs. Better than nothing. Having a center speaker is probably really cool, though. It probably gives you some extra focus. A lot of OG engineers surprisingly use visuals and balance with their ears. See, that's another thing, right? Like if you watch, if you've ever seen like an actual old mixing console, there's levels for each individual channel. It's like looking at your levels in your DAW like this. Like there were levels popping on each individual channel. So it's still a visual thing. Just like balance and mix, we need to find balance with our senses while mixing. Yeah. You said, you're truly amazing at mixing. I've been watching you for a while now and surprised at your knowledge and skills. Oh, well, very, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Make sure you grab the Multitracks if you haven't already. Link in the description. Yeah, I like the snare drum. Kick feels pretty good too. Let's check wide. I'm tempted to maybe bring down the top end on the acoustic. We'll see kind of where everything else sits. Maybe it's too loud in general. But let's come down to 2K to 5K. What's going on there? There's something... What's happening on the vocal? There's something weird on the vocal. So let's click this off for a second. Let's find out what's going on the vocal.
And don't worry, take your time, don't hurry. And don't worry, take your time, don't hurry. Leave it all till somebody else lends you a hand. Don't worry, take your time, don't take your time. Don't worry, take your time.
Much better. There was a little bit of harshness coming out there at like 3.7 or so. Ooh, snare sounds great. Kick sounds good too. I like it. I'm actually really happy with where the acoustic's sitting too. So let's keep moving here. No need to hang around in one frequency spot for too long.
Take your time, don't worry. Take your time, don't hurry. Leave it all.
What if we pull out a little bit right, like right between? No, it feels like it took something from the vocal there. I don't want to do that. Snare sounds great. Loving the snare. Again, I'm happy with the acoustic. I'm surprised. I thought I was gonna fight with that thing a little bit more, but I like where it's sitting inside the track here. That's feeling pretty good there. You say the snare sounds great, powerful, and not covering anything. I'm glad you're liking the snare. I'm actually really digging this snare as well. It has some good pop to it. I'm glad you're liking it. Thank you.
And don't worry. And don't take your time. Hurry. Take your time.
Yeah, it feels good there. Let's check the vocal.
And don't
Vocal feels great as well.
time. Don't hurry. And don't leave it all.
I'm tempted to add some mids maybe to the acoustic here.
And don't worry, take your time, don't hurry, leave it all. I'm gonna live forever. Leave it all till somebody. Leave it all till somebody else lends you.
That feels a little better there on the acoustic. It was kind of scooped sounding there in that 500 range. Let's check our low mid energy here.
And I'm gonna take your time. Don't hurry, leave and hurry, take your time. To somebody else. And hurry, take your time.
I want to add maybe some to the bass here. I don't know.
And don't worry, take your
Yeah.
time, don't hurry, leave it all. And you
That feels good. It kind of has that nosiness now, that point that the original has.
and don't worry, take your time, don't
Vocal feels a little big maybe.
and don't worry, take your time, don't hurry, leave it all. And don't worry, don't live forever. Leave it all to some.
I could probably do maybe just a little bit of this for the acoustic. We'll drop a high pass down here, but
And don't worry, take your time. Leave it all
like a half dB down there.
to somebody else.
I can dig that. That feels pretty good. And let's check the last little frequency range here. 100 to about 250. Vocal still feels a touch weighty, and we've still got to stack harmonies, so. I like the snare though. It's beefier. It's got some good weight to it. Let's narrow this and bring it up another half dB. One more? Cool, I can dig that. That's feeling pretty good. Let's get our harmonies in now.
And don't worry, take your time, don't hurry, leave it.
So let's click this up. I'm going to start by just copying over the same settings that are on the vocals. We'll bring this back down to 0. We'll nuke the limiter for a second, and we'll turn that off, I guess, but we'll leave the EQ in. Cool, let's just redo this so it fits the vocal a little bit better. And we'll look at one of these verse sections.
Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Isn't he a bit like? Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to.
That feels good. Let's add the top boost. 5.7.
Doesn't have a point of view. Doesn't have a point of view. Knows not where he's going to. Doesn't have a point of view.
Can over DS backgrounds and harmonies. That's main sibilance range I want coming from the lead vocal. Do we need a limiter?
Doesn't have a point of view.
Why not?
Knows not where he's going to. Isn't he a bit like you and me?
That actually feels great. Wow. Okay. I'm super happy with that. Let's pull it over, check the higher harmony. And we could probably do this on the final line here.
Making all is nowhere plans for nobody.
A little more.
Making all is nowhere plans for nobody.
One more. And let's get some top end on it.
Making all is nowhere plans for nobody. Making all is nowhere plans for nobody.
A little less top end there.
Making all is nowhere plans for nobody.
And let's make sure the sibilance range is okay on the verses.
Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Isn't he a bit like you and me? Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Isn't he a bit like? Making all is nowhere plans for nobody.
It's kind of just tap in there. I might be okay with that.
Making all is nowhere plans for nobody. Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Isn't he a bit like you and me? Doesn't have have a point of view, knows not where he's going. Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Isn't he a bit like you and me?
There's something on the harmonies here, I think.
Doesn't have a point of...
Again, I might have to switch to the mains here to try and find what's going on with the harmonies. There's some harshness, I feel like, that's like slipping through there. So one moment, I'm going to mute my mic. We're going to find out what's going on with these harmonies, background vocals here.
Of you, knows not where. Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Isn't he a bit like you and... Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Isn't he a bit like you? Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Isn't he a bit like you and me? Nowhere, man, please listen. You don't know what you're missing. No.
Cool. Those are feeling really good in the verse now. We'll have to bring them down, automate them down for the choruses, but...
Doesn't have a... He's a real nowhere man, sitting in his nowhere land, making all his nowhere plans for nobody. Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Isn't he a bit like you and me? Nowhere, man, please.
All right, so let's fix this really quick. These are like super loud here. Let's pull them down and just automate it on. Start with like 2.5.
Nowhere, man, please listen. You don't know what you're missing. Nowhere, man, the world is at your command.
So just for these chorus sections, we're going to turn on this mix tool and pull them down.
Like you and me. Nowhere, man, please listen. You don't know what you're missing. Nowhere, man, the world is at...
Now for me, instead of automating faders, I'd rather automate just a mix tool to turn on and off. I just like the flexibility of being able to grab a fader whenever I want and not having to fight pre-written automation. So if I can just turn on and off this mix tool, I can always just freely grab this gain here, and I can always freely grab the fader without having to worry about rewriting any automation. Just gives me more flexibility, I feel like.
Man, don't worry, take your time, don't hurry, leave it all till somebody else lends you a hand. Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going. He's a real nowhere man, sitting in his nowhere land, making all his nowhere plans for nobody.
Okay, the other thing we need to automate up is the solo here. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to throw a gain plug in here, and we'll automate this to turn on and off. But let's get the solo in the right position. So if we go like right here. So now it should click up for the solo.
Just sees what he wants to see. Nowhere, man, can you see me at all. Nowhere, man, don't worry. Take your time, don't hurry. Leave it all.
Okay, couple things here. I'm going to mute the vocals for a second. I want to add some length to the snare drum. So I'm going to dial up this plate reverb on the snare drum. Is it on the toms as well? We're going to put it on the toms as well. So a little bit of length on the snare drum and the toms. That's all. And then maybe some distortion on the bass, just to give it more top end cut. I like that.
A bit like you, doesn't have a point of view, knows not where.
And then let's do some slap and some reverb on the vocals.
Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Isn't he? Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Isn't.
Let's see how much is there at the beginning.
He's a real nowhere man.
Okay, so we need a little bit more here. Let's come up to like 10.
He's a real nowhere man, sitting in his nowhere land, making all his nowhere plans for nobody. Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Isn't he a bit like you and me? Nowhere, man, please listen. You don't know what you're missing. Nowhere, man, the world is at your command. Just sees what he wants to see. Nowhere, man.
I'll put a little extra click here on the kick drum. I'm kind of going back and forth on it. But let's get the parallel chain in here and see what that's going to do. So I'm going to add a touch of clipping here to the entire track. And we'll do it in this final verse here. We'll loop this little section here.
He's a real nowhere man, sitting in his nowhere land.
Same philosophy as the drums. I want to go like just above where the track is sitting, so anything that jumps above the track gets caught by the clipper.
He's a real nowhere man, sitting in his nowhere land, making all his nowhere plans. He's a real nowhere man,
Okay, now here's the parallel chain. I'm sending from the mix bus here, from mix A, full signal into mix B. I've got this 33609 style compressor, 100 millisecond recovery, thresholds at -12, 2-to-1 ratio, and then 8 dB of makeup gain, because we're shooting for about 7 to 10 dB reduction here, so you can see how much is happening.
He's a real nowhere man sitting in.
And then after that compressor, I'm adding 3 dB at 60 and 3 dB at 7K, so a little bit more weight, a little bit more shine, and we're gonna blend this up underneath the original mix here. I'm gonna do it in mono, just so it's a little bit more clear for me. So we're just gonna blend this up, add some more power to the track.
He's a real nowhere man sitting in his know. He's a real nowhere man sitting in. He's a real nowhere man sitting in his nowhere land. He's a real nowhere man sitting in his nowhere. He's a real nowhere man sitting in his nowhere. He's a real nowhere man sitting in his nowhere land. He's a real nowhere man sitting in his nowhere land. Making. He's a real nowhere man sitting in his nowhere land, making all his nowhere plans for nobody.
That's feeling really, really great. I'm happy with how that's sounding. So we're gonna do a full listen through here, and if you haven't already, make sure you grab the Multitracks so you can do a mix of the song yourself. There's a link in the description of the stream, and it'll be there for the replay as well. You can download the Multitracks for this song completely for free, so you can pull them into your DAW. You can mix along. You can follow along with the live stream if you want. Otherwise, you can just use them for your own mixing practice. There's just tons and tons of other Multitracks on that page as well. But I'm going to click this up to 0. Quickly adjust the volume on the stream, so you'll be listening at pretty much the same volume. I am going to listen at the volume you were listening at the whole time. I listen about 6 dB quieter than where it goes out at full volume, just so I can mix for longer. We've been going for about an hour and a half now, so let's do a full listen through, and we will call this puppy done. So here we go. Nowhere Man.
He's a real nowhere man sitting in his nowhere land, making all his nowhere plans for nobody. Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Isn't he a bit like you and me? Nowhere man, please listen. You don't know what you're missing. Nowhere man, the world is at your command. Can be, just sees what he wants to see. Nowhere man can you see me at all. Nowhere man, don't worry, take your time, don't hurry, leave it all till somebody else lends you a hand. Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Isn't he a bit like you and me? Nowhere man, please listen.
Yeah, I'm really, really happy with how that came out. That's sounding really, really great. The acoustic's in a good spot. The reverse verb's in a great spot, that it doesn't feel like it's left-leaning the whole time. I liked where the lead guitar sat the whole time in the verses, as well as coming up for the solo section. I think the only thing I changed on that final listen through was I bumped up the distortion track on the bass a little bit to give it just a touch more edge, and so it would cut through the rest of the mix just a little bit more. I want to be able to hear that moving bass line, because it's a great bass line and it needs to be heard. It's very melodic through most of this track. But that's going to do it here for this one. Thank you so much for joining me for another weekly mixing stream here. I'm here every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Central Time in the US. I probably will not be here next Wednesday though, but we'll be back the following Wednesday. Always here with a new set of multi-tracks that are available to download. So if you haven't grabbed those yet, check out the link in the description of the video. You can download these multi-tracks completely for free, so you can pull them into your DAW and you can mix along with the stream. The replay for all of these streams stay up, and they're all on that page as well. So any of the multi-tracks that you want from any of the past streams, you can grab them on that page. And there's a link back to the corresponding stream, so you can come back, you can mix along with me in the replay. Otherwise, just grab any of them that you want for your own free mixing practice. But that's going to do it here for this one. Super, super happy with how this one came out. Really, really cool song, and one of my favorite early Beatles songs for sure. So thank you so much for watching, joining me here for another stream. I will see you very, very soon in the next video.